Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to be doing a mini whiteboard type activity now. So you need to make sure you have your book in front of you. And what we're going to do is a bunch of questions. I think it's around 10 or 13 questions where I will show you a Venn diagram and you are going to then write the notation down. So it's kind of going to be the opposite of what you did in the previous video where I gave you a notation and then you had to shade it in. This time I've shaded it in. You have to work out what the notation looks like. The questions vary in difficulty, so we'll go through them and I'll explain each answer to you as we do it, but you might need to pause the video. I might also just give you a bit of extra time in the video itself so you don't have to pause it every time. But if you do need more time, then that's what you're expected to do. And you will also be expected to upload your attempt on Google Classroom. This is not a test, so if you don't get 100%, you're not going to be penalized. We're looking for improvement. Okay, so start with question 1. How could you use set notation in this case? So have a go. So this one should be fairly straightforward. So it's one of the main ones that you copied out in the at the beginning of the very first video. You can see it's the intersection of A and B. So it's A and B. So A intersection B. Okay, question 2. How can we represent this area? Pause the video if you need to. Okay, so going through this now, I can see I've shaded in A, but then I've taken away B, and I'm left with this part here. So I can represent this by saying it's the elements of A and not B. So you can say A and not B. Now, if you wrote not B and A, that's also fine. So the order in this case doesn't matter. And this applies to most of the questions that we're doing here. So how can I represent what's shaded here, the purple area? Okay, I'll give you a bit less time for this one because I think you can probably figure this one out. This is just set A. Question 4, have a go. What's been shaded here? Okay, not a trick question. You just haven't shaded anything out. So in this case, it's just no sets have been chosen. Question 5, what's happening here? So think back to one of the previous questions. Okay, so we can see we've got set B, but we've taken away set A. So we can say that this is going to be B and not A, or again, you can write it the other way around, not A and B, or not A intersection B. Okay, question 6, what set is this being shaded? Okay, so this one is fairly quick. You can see it's just going to be set B that's shaded in. Question 7, what's been shaded in here? So you should all be able to get this one, just from memory. You can see, okay, so the answer, I've shaded in everything here. So it's going to be a union B. Okay, question 8. Okay, if you've had a go. So question 8, I can see that everything except B is being shaded in, so it's going to be not B or the complement of B or B dash. So that's what you should have on your sheet or in your book. Question 9. Think about this one, what's happening here. Okay, if you're not sure, I'm going to give you a clue. You've shaded in A, and then you've shaded in everything outside of A. Okay, so what you can say is it's going to be the set A intersecting with everything that's not B. So it should be union. Oh, let's try that one again. Question 9. Okay, question 9. What's happening here? Okay, if you need a clue, I want you to look at this bit here, and then I want you to think about that bit there. So this bit here, you can see that A has been shaded in, and then if you look at this bit here, everything outside of that circle has been shaded in as well. So it's going to be A union not B, or if you did it the other way around as well, so B dash union A. Okay, question 10. Have a go. Okay, so for this one, you should have not A or A dash or complement of A. Question 11, what's happening here? What's been shaded in? Okay, so you can see that B has been shaded in and everything outside of A as well. So you can then say B union not A, or A union not A union B. Okay, question 12. This one is potentially a little bit trickier. You may not have come across this, but have a go just to challenge yourself. Okay, so for this question here, we haven't really explored this, but it's possible to do this. I think it's quite important for you to see this. We've basically shaded in everything except this bit. Now we know that the bit that I've just crosshatched here is A intersection B, and I've obviously shaded in everything except that. So this is going to be A intersection B in brackets and then not. So it's anything that is not A intersection B has been shaded in. Okay, there's another one here. What has been shaded in here? Think about what symbols you can use to represent this. Okay, so it is going to be the universal set for this. And now, what I want you to do is, if you need to rewatch this video, then rewatch it. But you then have to do this sheet in test conditions, just test what you know, and match the notation which is listed on the left with each of the diagrams. So you can write the notation underneath each diagram. Do it once in test conditions, mark yourself, give yourself a mark out of 12, and then try it again and see if your mark improves, unless you already have got 12 out of 12. If there is any other work that you need to do alongside this worksheet, it will be on Google Classroom. But for now, that is going to count as your notation, last one on notation. So I'll see you guys on the next video.